by the zeal of the things of the kingdom, have no time for iniquity. When you are preoccupied by the zeal, by the fire, by the passion, by the dedication and consistency of the things that moves God, iniquity loses its grip over you. There's a common English adage that says, an idle man is the devil's workshop. So what has eaten you up? What has consumed you? What are you passionately zealous about? What moves you? What is the frequency and velocity and intensity of your fire? Every act of iniquity is an act of uncleanness. And every form of uncleanness gives way at the introduction of fire. When you diminish in fire, you increase in iniquity. So when you become so comfortable with the act of uncleanness, it's a clear indication that your fire density, your fire velocity, your fire intensity has grossly diminished. No works of iniquity can survive the presence of fire. Fire is no respecter of person. If you buy gas and put in your house with your own money, when there is explosion, the gas will not recognize you as the owner. You buy candle and build a beautiful house. You buy matches and mistakenly there is an eruption of fire. The fire will not recognize you even though you are the legitimate owner of the house. Fire has no respecter of person. That is why iniquity bar at the introduction of fire. The reason why carnality has taken over, because our generation is void of the intensity of fire. We have a lot of fireless men and women in the church. Fireless men and women on the altar. That is why we cannot withstand little pressure of iniquity. You will be tempted. You will be tried. But if the fire is burning, the possibility for you to compromise is very slim. The possibility for you to fall is very slim. The possibility for you to give into it is very slim. Sit down, please. Thank you. Section Romans, subsection 12, article 11. Am I teaching good? Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Fervent in spirit, fervent in spirit, fervent. We have a lot of slothful men and women in the church. Even on the pulpit, people who are supposed to have no business because they are fireless. To be fireless is to be powerless. To be fireless is to be flawless. Shall I shock you? Even Satan knows unserious members. So he doesn't bother himself because they are already his captive. So what is he bargaining with you? Some people are shouting, my destiny, you have destiny. Destiny that has been hijacked and truncated in the ocean of iniquity. You can't be talking on issue of destiny until you address the issue of iniquity. Anybody swimming in the ocean of iniquity has no destiny. That destiny has been captured. That destiny has been hijacked. been truncated. Fervent in spirit. Show me a woman that is on fire. Show me a man that is on fire. Show me a youth that is on fire. I will produce an individual that is fervent in spirit. You can't be inoculated with the fire and not be fervent. Fervent means you become precautious. You become prudent, articulate, wise, and watchful. You don't only pray. You pray and watch your surrounding. You pray and watch your environment. Why? No matter how spiritual you are, their environment, once you find yourself there, the velocity of your fire, the intensity of your fire, it does not only go down, it quenches. So when you are fervent, you become cautious. You become prudent. You become wise. You become careful. You become selective. Scripture says, pray and watch. Many are praying, they are not watching simply because they are not fervent. A man or a woman who is fervent in spirit is watchful with his or her environment. There are some places when you are invited, if you are fervent in spirit, you appreciate the person and you turn it down. You know what? No matter your standing for God, that environment has already watered down your spirituality. The environment is toxic. It's full of negative energy. It will weaken and demoralize your spirituality. So someone who is fervent is hypersensitive and hyper-selective. He or she does not only pray, they pray and watch. Watch who they discuss with, what they discuss, where they go, and what they do in where they go. I was here every day for 3 months. Every day for 3 months. Every day for 3 months. With the level of spirituality, I am still applying caution. I would prefer to sit under that canopy, under sun, than to sit under the tree. Ask me why. I'm the GO. When anybody comes there, he might not be interested with who is there. He will be looking at, is that not the prophet? I am not there to drink, but I am passing a wrong signal. And certain action and decision can weaken and demoralize the faith of others. So I choose to be a responsible kingdom citizen because I am fervent in spirit. All things might not be lawful, but all things might not be helpful. So even though you have liberty to do certain things, you need to put into consideration the thousands and the millions of people whose faith depends on you, not even on Jesus. So you must be fervent, fervent, fervent. Section Acts, subsection 18, article 25. Am I teaching good tonight? If I'm teaching good, let me hear your amen like fire. This man was instructed in the way of the Lord and being fervent in the spirit. So to be fervent in spirit, it means to adhere to all divine instruction. To follow the narrow way of the Lord that might not seem popular. Because the broad way leads to disaster and destruction. You see, men and women who are fervent in the spirit, they don't do things to please men. They do to please God. Because you can be greatly celebrated among men, rejected by God. There is no reward. I feel like I'm talking to the wrong audience. I need to return back from where I'm going to. Am I teaching good? Am I teaching good? Section John, subsection 12, article 43. Thank you. Section John, subsection. For they love the praise of men more than the praise of God. You see, men and women who are not fervent in spirit, they want to appease and please everybody. They are looking for human endorsement, human approval. They are not concerned about what offends God. They are more concerned about what offends men. This generation has reduced itself for content and entertainment. When you go and read God's General, you will see women like Amy McPherson. You will see women like Marianne Woodward, Etta. You will see A.A. Allen, Jacko, John Alexander Dowie. These were men by revelation took over their generation and took over their nation. It is written by account of John Knox that the Queen of England was afraid of him more than 10,000 Scottish army. When they mention your name in your neighborhood, what comes first in the heart of men? When they mention your name in your family, what comes first in the heart of men? When they mention your name in your department, what comes first in the heart of men? This one is unserious. This one is not dedicated. This one lacks focus. What comes first when your name is mentioned in your family as a believer? You can't be a carrier of fire and be ignored and be underrated or be undermined. Because anyone who comes around fire feels the intensity of the fire, feels the impact of the fire, get attracted by the intensity of the fire. As a matter of truth, anywhere fire is ignited is a signal. Even reptiles that are hiding will become uncomfortable and come out abruptly because of the intensity of the fire. The reason why there are still so many things that you are still compromising with them, because there is no enough fire. The density and the intensity is shallow. So some things are still comfortable finding expression. I left Jos many years ago. 2016, I traveled. 2016, I went back to abroad. I was the face of God in the city of Jos. No prominent person, as long as Jos is concerned, will not come to meet me. Whether they are of different career, of different profession, they must come to meet me. I came today, they told me that there were two gentlemen all the way from Jos. Then I told them that if they are from Jos, they should come to my office. They came to my office. They came to verify something. Something I did 2015. They were meeting me today since after 2015. That thing that I did was what I repeated to them. They say, God bless you, man of God. They are somewhere in church. All the way from Jos. All the way from Jos. That is who. The other man said, I know you in the government house. I don't speak Hausa. But I took over the whole city. Through the fervency of the Spirit. And I brought the entire forces of darkness under subjection. I am doing program. The commissioner will come out because the traffic is much. To ensure that the boy doesn't mess the governor and his prophet. You know what? See, I have not even done anything in Abuja. I'm just starting. I'm just warming up. Go find out. Ask anybody from John. Let them tell you my antecedent. I turned the whole city upside down. He's there. I have people here who were with me. Turned the whole city upside down. Through the fervency of fire. The fervency of the Spirit. The fervency of power. Brought the entire city under subjection. All the rulers, the powers, the principalities. Bam! Till then. I've not seen this man since 2016. They have seen me today. What I said in 2015, they met me today. They were not part of that particular meeting. I had that meeting with a captain who is now a lieutenant colonel. What I said 10 years ago, without them being a witness, they heard it accurately, without addition, without subtraction. You know what they said? Man of God, God bless you. So this is a man who is intentional, who is conscious of the mandate for generational impact. And nobody can take over his or her generation without being intentional. I've been consistent. I pay my dues. I've paid the price for revival. I've been taking over nations and cities, not today. And I've been consistent in the fervency of the Spirit. I was doing a program and the governor and all the men that matter sat down. They gave me to do a program in Cooking Headquarters. Anybody who know Cooking Church? They will never allow anybody who is not their minister to do a program in their church. The president was seated. The governor and all the people that matter in the government were all seated. Then I went to the president, called his son, unraveled the issue connected to the son. The son was in the house, mentally deranged. Everybody in the whole city of Jos, that is the day Jos surrendered for me. President of Cooking Headquarters. More than 10,000 people. I entered operation. Everybody seated, everywhere quiet. No movement. I compared the son in the room where he was. The son woke up from bed in that state of mental disability. He doesn't come to Cooking Headquarters Church. I compel him from that altar in the midst of all the people that matter. The son started walking from the house and entered the church. And that was the end of his healing. Just surrender to me. Anything I say, I am on air. They are verifiable. Verifiable. Can go and check the antecedent. The whole city bow. Somebody whom they have done everything possible in this life to return him back to normalcy. Only prophecy brought him from the house. he woke up and started running to the cooking headquarters by command. Then he came, I greeted him and asked him what's his name. He told me, I said, sit down. He sat down. That was the end till today. The guy today just graduated from the university. Anything that pursue your destiny, may that power be scattered in the name of Jesus. You want to overcome iniquity, transgression, you must be fervent in the spirit. You need to check your firetometer. What is the velocity? What is the intensity? What is the fervency of your spirit? How sensitive, how active? You think you're all gathered here because you don't have good houses and good bed? It is fire that brought you. Some of you have the best bed in your house, AC, everything, your environment is comfortable. But you'll be here till 5 o'clock, you'll be up. You can't sleep. You know what? You don't sleep in the atmosphere of fire. I say you can't sleep in the atmosphere. When you are ministering as a pastor, as a minister, and people are sleeping, check your firetometer. The fire might have been ignited, but there's not enough sufficient wood to sustain the fire. I have been consistent. Anybody who knew me before will tell you that the same way I have been zealous and passionate for 2.5 decades, I have not changed. A lady came here all the way from one nation and she said, Papa, you have not changed. How can I change? The fire keep burning. The fire keep increasing. Because the part of the jaws is like a shining light that moves from glory to glory to glory. Thank you. Am I teaching good? Listen to me. All acts of iniquity and transgression are works of the flesh. So for you to prevail over the works of the flesh, you need to bring yourself under the subjection of the spirit man. Section Galatians, subsection 5, article 16. It's in my genetic chromosome. Thank you. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Do you know why you are preoccupied by carnality? Because your thought and perception and mindset is carnal and fleshy. Shall I shock you? If things that does not make sense offend you, it's a clear indication that you are carnally minded. Do you know why you are so preoccupied with insignificant things that have nothing to add as long as value to your spirituality is concerned? Because your affection and your mindset is fixed on things beneath. You think carnally. You think fleshly. So that is why the things of the natural preoccupies your mind and keep harassing, embarrassing, and tormenting you because you have not worked on yourself. Section Colossians, subsection 3, article 2. Am I teaching good? Everybody read to me. 1, 2, 3, go. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Once your affection is limited on things beneath, you will be overcome by the works of the flesh and you will remain in captivity in the ocean of iniquity. Why is it that when you see an opposite person, the first thing that comes in your mind is you want to have something to do with the person. You know why? Your mind is carnal. So you think like someone from beneath, not from above. Section John, subsection 3, article 27. Am I teaching good? John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it is given him from heaven. That which is from above is above all. So when you begin to think from above, you will live above iniquity. You will live above transgression. You will live above the fleshy works of the body. When you relate with me, I don't see you as a female gender. I see you as an entity created in the image and in the likeness of God. That's my perception. Any other one you have in your own mindset is up to you. That is the way I relate with every Homo sapien. And that is why I don't think in that direction of what some of you will be thinking, because that is where your mind has been affected. Many men cannot help a girl without requesting something. How much did we pay Christ for saving us? How much did we pay Christ for dying for us? He died unconditionally. If you cannot help them, don't hurt them. And you must not help somebody and put the person in a tight corner. That is not help. That is exploitation. That's manipulation. That's deceit and deception. Put your mind off the things in the natural. Stop thinking like a mere human. Start begin to think like a supernatural entity. That is your truthetic individuality and identity and personality. So when I see you, I relate with you in the image of God. I relate with you in the image of God. And that is how I see everybody. You know why? I have transcended beyond the natural. So I don't think like a natural man. A natural man wants to get something to give you something. Because in the natural world, they operate with the carnal wisdom. It's give and take. If I must give you something, it is transactional. I must take something. Ask me, why do people think in that direction? Because their mind is carnal. Their mind has been contaminated. Their minds are polluted. Their minds are corrupt. So they have not transcended. They are still operating as natural Homo sapien. Sir, I lived 32 years out of this country. 32 years out of this country. I've never tested alcohol since I was born in my life. I've never tested alcohol since I was born. You know, when you feel that you cannot outgrow some things, you don't use your personal experience to categorize life in general. If you are struggling with things, not everybody is struggling with them. So don't use your personal situation to generalize everybody's condition. So if you are still struggling with fornication, it's not a natural habitation for everybody. It's not a natural phenomenon. Say, after all, am I the only one? I know many of us who are doing it. You don't take yourself and be comparing with others. Face yourself. Face your own self. Sit down and cross-examine your life. Ask yourself, am I making progress? If I continue in the next 1 year, how will my life become? Stop generalizing. Say, everybody is doing it. Everybody is doing hookup. I'm not the only one. We know ourselves. Face yourself. Stop using people as measuring rod. Your destiny is unique. There are things others will do and survive them. If you do it, you will end in problem. Ask me why. Your destinies are not the same. You might just say, this is my first time, let me go and try it. It will hook you like this. Because that is not your wire. That is not the way you are wired. That's where fervency in spirit comes into being. When you become passionate and zealous, with a strong determination to honor God and do His will and do His will alone on earth. Even when you are under pressure and tension to compromise, opportunities around you are looking glaring, you still choose to stand right and stand tall. Tell your neighbor, say, be fervent in spirit. Section Galatians, subsection 5, article 25. Galatians 5:25. If we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit. Do you know why you are finding it difficult to deal with certain issues in the natural? Because you are still walking with the carnal mind. Your mind has not been transformed. You are still operating in the lower realm of the supernatural, where carnality, deceit, falsehood, manipulation have gained preeminence. Am I a Superman? No. I've just made certain discovery in the school of knowledge and wisdom. And I'm very intentional. And I take precaution because my destiny is not for sale. That is what makes me exceptional and different from others. Because in all my pursuit, I am intentional. Is it possible for you also to ascend? Yes. If you are willing to learn from those who have gone ahead of you and embracing the wisdom they bring to you in simplicity, you can outgrow certain excesses. There is nobody that cannot change. But change begins with your willingness to change. Nobody can superimpose change on you if you are not willing to change. There are people, even after preaching all what I'm preaching, they will still go back to do what they want to do. It's your choice. I have done my job as a good sound teaching priest. Your blood cannot be upon my head because I did not deprive you of knowing the truth. I've done my part. And I will be blessed and I will be rewarded faithfully for being a sound teaching priest. Not being sentimental and emotional, but telling you the way scripture say it should be. Tell your neighbor, say, be fervent in spirit. Now, write under your note. Why must I be fervent in spirit? Every transaction with God from earth to above is spiritual. And if every transaction is spiritual, then man must be spiritual to carry out spiritual operation or spiritual transaction. Should I shock you? Now, this is what I'm going to do now. Many of you are coming from families with very serious foundational contention, serious generational crisis and causes, serious evil witchcraft foundation, diabolic and occultic foundation. Now you don't have a strong altar. And the other people from the other side who are From the other side, Ezewanyi, native doctor, occultic men, diabolic men, they have altars where they go and service and fortify themselves in the journey of life. And you are carrying Bible and then you are not spiritually fortified. You will put the Bible under your pillow. They will suffocate you and take life out of you and drink palm wine in your burial and eat pepper soup and nothing will happen. You gave yourself to them. Nothing will happen. Some of them will even come and be boasting while you are lying down. Say, we told you to be careful with us. You were taking us for granted. How far? While you are lying on the bed, they will be making mockery of your body. And sometimes the people who carry out this disastrous transaction are mostly illiterate, who have transcended spiritually and they have gone above those in the Christendom who are still operating from a nominal perspective. Now, look at me. Look at me. All spiritual operation and transaction, both in the darkness and in the light, takes place on an altar. Before they will do an invocation to compel you, your spirit, and submit you in a coffin, they must have an active working altar. And should I shock you? Sacrifice is the food of the spirit. Anytime sacrifice comes on any altar, whether it represents the kingdom of darkness